Okay, so this is just been unboxed yesterday. We've just done some upgrades to it. We did the solid state drive yesterday, upgraded it from the stock to a larger drive, just 1 terabyte. This is the HP 840 G9 HP Elitebook. Okay, so the Elitebook, different to the Pro books in the fact that it's more of a flagship model, backlit keyboard, HP's own Wolf security. This is just the i5, but the 12th gen i5 will outperform the 11th gen i7. So worth considering. The price differences are kind of like negligible at that point. What I like about this model is it's aluminium. I think it's a good competitor for, say, a 14-inch MacBook Pro, the new 14-inch MacBook Pros. Similar aluminium kind of like chassis. Build quality is similar. However, these are upgradable, unlike the Macs compared. So comparing it to, say, a consumer model, say a Pavilion, you can't really just unscrew the back without losing screws, peeling off plastic parts. And that's what another thing about the Elitebooks that is brilliant, is that they really are geared for businesses or connoisseurs, I'll say, where you can just upgrade it. Replacement parts are readily available, and look at that, how easy is that to get off, and screws all tied in. So what have we got inside? So this is what we did yesterday. We replaced the stock SSD. We've got a WD black in there, worthy of performance, I think. I love the battery on this one. It's got like a shield on it as well. The RAM's shielded. I do need to switch it off before we put in some new RAM. So we're upgrading the RAM today. Now this RAM is DDR5, running at 4800 megahertz, I think. Quite unique. You don't really see many DDR5 laptops, about a 14-inch. You know, this really is a performer, and whenever you consider buying a HP, I always say, why not buy direct? So go and buy direct from the HP store and buy the care packs that come with it. So in this one, the customer purchased the 3-year care pack, and they've got 3 years peace of mind, effectively, which is great. It includes next day on-site support, so any hardware failures or anything like that, one would hope that you'll get a HP engineer on site. So let's attempt to have a look at upgrading the RAM on this model. So I've signed out of Windows. I'm just, as a precaution, just going to pop the battery out, and again, made a lot easier. Now it looks like we've got a little flap here, and it looks like it's stuck down here. And I think this shield just should lift up, and hopefully I won't get too much criticism for what I'm doing, but I'm literally just kind of like going to pry this open as best I can. There we go, and gently does it. Less is more, so she says. There we go. So it's quite generous that HP have actually just kept one free. So we've got one 8 gig stick here, which we're going to replace with 2 16s, giving us 32 gigabyte. Now the maximum this laptop will take is 64 gigabytes of RAM. And it's crazy to think how quick things are moving on with the speed of machines now, especially with the latest generation of processors and everything. So, and just so you're aware as well, when with these particular models, HP have seemed to have got around now with not putting a BIOS battery in. So if you do disconnect the battery, what happens when you switch it on is that the time's wrong and things like that. It will correct itself in Windows. However, just be aware you might get some kind of warning on post, you know, when it boots up. And the same is true if you change the memory. You will get a warning saying that the memory amount has changed. Right, okay, so let's pop that back on. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to kind of like talk about the ports. So the ports around the side of the computer, you've got HDMI, and you've got, I think it's just one, no, you may have two full-size USB 3s, and then you've got an SD card slot. No, that's not an SD card slot. Don't have an SD card slot. No SD card slot, which is kind of strange. It's USB-C powered, so we've got two USB-Cs, HDMI full size, and something you don't get on the MacBook is a full size USB. I think that's fine. You don't need USBs anymore, really.
It's got space for another SSD there as well.
Oh yeah. Well, that is a surprise, a smaller one. And I didn't see that before. Yeah, interesting. Unfortunately, I was hoping to see that the keyboard might be replaceable, but you can see the plastic rivets here. If the keyboard was to have a fault, you would have to replace the full palm rest. The trackpad is replaceable. I can see screws here for that. So there are more replaceable parts on this one. However, again, the palm rest, it seems to be, you know, keyboard fault, replace the whole palm rest, which is unfortunate really, because that did distinguish kind of like Elitebooks to others in previous generations. So yeah, I think this is a recommended buy if you want portability. This one weighs in at 1.38 kilograms rather. Okay, and I'll take it from there. And if you've got any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. And yeah, have a good Christmas. Bye-bye.